Game number 1 of our next TVP. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner, fresh off of a big upset over one of his nemesises. We have Dark, who did recently join a team, Bleed. But I feel like that's not the team name. Maybe it is. I'll have to look it up. I don't remember which team he just joined. I did see he just joined a team. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner. He's been on this team for a while. Dragon Kitesy Gaming. It is Oliveira. Game 1. Yee. Yee, says Steadfast. Not yes. Not yeah. But yee. Or maybe yay. Isn't Y-E? Oh, no, I guess it's Y-E-A, right? Isn't that yay? Yay. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Something like that, right? Alright, so we have another TVP here. We just came off of Oliveira versus Classic. Oliveira able to take him down. Pretty solid game 1 in that series, and then there was a bop from Classic, and then Oliveira just kind of one base all in and won game 3. They're kind of a wild series. We'll see what happens in this one. Would not put it past Oliveira to do another cheeky one base, so we got to keep an eye on things here. It looks like this is going to be a expansion after the factory based on that SCV, but you just never know. You got to be careful. How you got from yay to Gangsta's Paradise. It's because the opening line of that song is a part of a Bible verse. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, or something like that. Just the very first line of that song, it opens with a phrase from a Bible verse. That's how we got there. The only place I know the word yay from in that context is the Bible. It's absolutely something Jesus says, right? Yea, my children, look unto me. I don't know, maybe it's just in South Park he says that. Dang. NightMare taking out that Reaper. And it is a Phoenix opener. I'm guessing it's going to be a Phoenix Colossus play here from NightMare. I say that, but that is a second gateway. We could see something like Phoenix Charge. That's not too crazy. Keep an eye out for what building NightMare puts down next. Oliveira does seem to be playing this pretty standard. We saw him go for something like this against Classic, and this was actually the build that kind of ended up losing the game. Is tried to lift up a bunch of stuff and go across the map and just got killed by some stalkers. It is going to be a Twilight Council, so it's looking like Phoenix Charge here out of NightMare. But in the meantime, he's going to find this drop with the Phoenixes and the Adepts. Do some damage to the Medivacs, but the Marines will drop out and push those away. And with the Cyclone back at home, Oliveira should be safe. But this means that his pressure he wanted to put on is no longer happening. The Adepts are thinking about going in, but decide to run home. Phoenixes get to scout absolutely everything and see what Oliveira is doing. Looks like Oliveira is going to push out. He's got a couple of Vikings here. Bringing the Widowmine. He's got a siege tank. Doesn't have a lot of tech behind this. It's only going to be on one barrack, so there's no stim coming up. There's no upgrades for these units, but it's going to be a lot of units early here for Oliveira, and he wants to just get that pressure going. As I say that though, he just backs up. Just leaves. Runs away. Maybe seeing the amount of stalkers that were there or something. Phoenix is on the other side of the map, trying to be annoying. Oh, he's going to lift the Viking. He's going to lift the Viking. He's not going to get it, though. The repair is too good. Oh, that Viking stays alive. Look at this Viking. What a boss. But Oliveira pulls back. He's going to drop a third CC. Some extra barracks is now. NightMare able to push out and take his third base. Charge is done. Doesn't really have a lot of zealots, though. I imagine it'll just be into Blink beyond here. Ooh, actually, Templar Archive's going down as well. One thing that we did notice from Oliveira when he was playing against Classic in the one macro game we got is he did tech very quickly. He was against Colossi, he got right into double Stargate or double Starport Viking production. If he notices he is up against Templar Archives, I imagine the Ghost Academy won't be too far behind. But right now he's focused on other tech, Stim, getting all of his barracks up. He's actually going to be going up to 5 barracks pretty quickly here. And he's pretty heavy on siege tanks, which can be very good against the High Templar. If Oliveira is able to target them down, they die super fast to the siege tanks. Looks like NightMare wants to break open this wall, take down these gold minerals, and work on this as his 4th base. Oliveira is going to be getting his 3rd base set up. That poor Adept just getting blasted to smithereens here. It doesn't stay alive, but just barely. NightMare is positioned like he might want to move out with the Warp Prism. 4th base is on the way. I will say upgrade-wise, Oliveira is a good bit ahead. He's got 1-1, already about 2/3 of the way done. Whereas it's just the single forge here for NightMare, and I feel like that's a bit of a mistake. Starting the upgrades this late, I feel like you have to go into double forge. Otherwise, he's just going to fall really far behind. 1-1 is getting very close to being done here for Oliveira. NightMare is coming in. This is so dangerous. There's Widow Mines all over the place. Big storms going down, eating a lot of that bio, and the Phoenix is going to lift these siege tanks. Oliveira is just going to tap out. Wow, that game ended at not the place I thought it was going to end. But NightMare was just such a good engagement, slamming down those storms right before 1-1 finished. And I think right as Combat Shields finished, but just able to kill so many of those Marines. The tanks getting lifted. Kind of a shockingly quick end to that game. I thought for sure we were going to go on another 5 minutes. But it turns out no. NightMare is just going to continue stomping forward right now as he goes up 1-0 against Oliveira. Falcon Paladin, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a lovely stream. Aquaman casting SC2. It's actually Chickenman. Thank you, though. And a cat cam. Yes, and he's even still in the same spot on the couch, which is incredibly cute. I don't know why the white balance is so off on that camera. There we go. That's a little bit better. Our game 2 gonna be on Oceanborn. Oceanborn. Wow. I remember singing that so long ago. But Oceanborn's been in the map pool a while, hasn't it? All right, let's hop into game number 2 here. We're spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have a NightMare. Still have not looked up what team he's just joined, but I'll look that up in a moment. After we introduce our Terran player in the upper left, it is Dragon Kites's Oliveira. All right. NightMare SC2. NightMare. Currently playing for Bleed Esports. It is just Bleed. Okay. I don't really know anything about Bleed. It looks like they have a Valorant team and a Dota 2 team. So, cool to see them getting into StarCraft. Even a Rainbow Six team. Look at that. I assume, like many of the pickups around this time of year, Bleed is probably performing in the what is it, the Gamers 8 tournament that's happening, and covering multiple esports with different teams and players is beneficial to the teams. Picking up a StarCraft player is one of the easiest ways, I think, to just get some representation in that tournament. But cool to see Bleed picking up a player. NightMare's been off of teams for a little while now, and he's had some good results. Again, I mean, this bracket's looking good for him, man. If he takes down Oliveira here and goes to the finals, that would be a very impressive run for NightMare. And he does have those from time to time. I think lately he's been looking quite strong. Recently, I think it was last week when I seeded him into the tournament, he was the highest rank I've seen him on a League Lag. He has fallen a little bit since then, but I mean, beating Dark and now one up against Oliveira. It's feeling like some good play here out of NightMare. Turns out he's pretty good at the video game. Okay, Oliveira going for a second barracks to follow up this factory. Might be getting a little bit aggressive there. Speaking of aggressive, NightMare is going to be going for a Twilight Council. This actually might be why we're seeing the second barracks from Oliveira. I believe he scouted that Twilight Council. No, he didn't. Okay, I thought the Reaper jumped up, but it did not. So Oliveira doesn't really know what he's up against. And I feel like on the low ground, this looks pretty similar to what NightMare did last game. It's just going to be about keeping an eye out for those Phoenixes at all. Yeah, there's the third barracks from Oliveira. This should be quite nice against the Blink opening from NightMare. NightMare has got 3-gate Blink set up. He's got a Robo going down as well. So a lot of potential for pressure here, but because it is 3-gate, he doesn't have to go super hard. If he sees that Oliveira's got enough to defend, he could just take a third, poke with the Stalkers, try to keep the Marine count low. The Reaper's going to jump up now and confirm that it is, in fact, Twilight Council. I think Oliveira was probably guessing that by now. But it's always good to get that confirmation. You never want to assume what your opponent is doing, especially if they're Protoss. Never assume what the Protoss is doing, A, but also that the Protoss knows what they're doing. Because even at the highest level, even the best Protoss sometimes are like, I'll just wing it. And by that I mean hero. Very often. Not very often, but one of the things that makes hero kind of scary is that he might just swap it up in the middle of a game, in the middle of a series, do something very unexpected and maybe suboptimal, and then just kill you with it anyways. And that's a hard thing to play against, is somebody who just does that kind of stuff. It's also what makes Dark very tough to play against. Because you're like, okay, this state of the game is only optimal for these builds, but those players might just be playing a suboptimal way. And they're still so good that it's going to kill you because you're not expecting it now. I don't think that's the case here, though. NightMare is just going to poke and prod with these stalkers. He's going to take a third base. The probe's already going out here. He sees that there is a lot of stuff, and he's going to try to pick off what he can. He really wants to pick off some of these Marines. So Oliveira is going to have a very powerful push in a minute if some of these Marines don't get picked off by the stalkers. Yeah, behind it, he's trying to get into charge, trying to get into a Templar Archives. He might just need to morph those Templar into Archons, because I feel like Oliveira is going to push out fairly soon. Stim is done, Combat Shields is done, the Medivacs are out, Concussive Shells is halfway done. Ooh, he's not going to go for a move out. He's in fact going to go for a drop. And this is super cute. NightMare is not going to spot this. And he might just assume those units are still chilling up on the high ground where they were a minute ago. He's going to try to get the Adept up there. The Adept Shade sees no bio, or just like a very small amount of it. But with the range of vision that Adept Shade has, NightMare still might not realize exactly what he's up against. Now he sees this move out. Oh my god, the surround! The drop comes in and every single stalker gets gunned down. Oliveira. I thought that drop was moving across the map, but no. He's like, your stalkers are still out here. I am going to stop you from leaving. Just absolutely crushes them. And now NightMare is on charge lots with one Immortal. Storm is not quite done yet. And I don't think there's any High Templar anyways to be gathering Storm. Okay, there are some High Templar down here. They have enough for Storm. If Storm finishes 7 seconds away, but now the drop is coming into the natural. There's the army coming into the third as well. Oh, the lock onto the Warp Prism. I think it'll stay alive, though, thanks to that shield battery. The drop in the natural gets pushed away, but Storm is kind of not ideal here. These units aren't super bunched up. This is a big split from Oliveira, and I think he knows there's High Templar in there. He sees the Templar Archives. He's just dropping all over the place. A few Stalkers are warped in. Going to be able to get the medevac. No! One hit point on the medevac, and it drops out into the main base. NightMare losing so many probes. The High Templar drop down, but the Prism goes down. All the High Templar go down. These Stalkers are not going to last very long. And even if NightMare cleans this up, he has lost 32 probes. That Storm did more damage to his units than it did to the Terran units. And NightMare is just getting as much damage done as he can now with these units. They have already done their job. The medevac finally goes down. But 35 probes have died. NightMare is down to 21 workers, and I think he just looks at that and realizes this game is hopeless. I'm up 1-0. We can just go into game 3. I don't have to stress. GG. NightMare taps out, and Oliveira ties us up 1-1. What's up, Tater Tutor? All right, it does look like Gumiho took down Lemon. Lemon getting the big upset on Bunny. This is the second time in a KSL Lemon has just come in and surprised us all with that victory. Oh. Okay, logged out of StarCraft at some point during that. That's so weird. The music turned off? Oh yeah, Lemon coming in, getting the upset over Bunny. Gumiho, though, restoring things to their natural order. So Gumiho versus Creator in the semifinals on the bottom side. I believe Dave Testa is casting that one. Man, TVP all over the place. Dark and Solar both get knocked out here. Sue, unfortunately, not showing up for us. The Zergs not putting in a good showing today. It's funny, I was just saying, like, oh, I don't think I cast that much TVP. We don't get a lot of TVP in the KSL. And then here we are. TVP Central. Let's hop into game number 3 of this TVP. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have, for Bleed Esports, NightMare. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner for Dragon Kitesy Gaming, it's Oliveira. I do appreciate that NightMare is in red for his team Bleed. I like it when the color of the player matches the team. Like Team Liquid players should always be blue. NightMare on Bleed should be red for sure. He used to be on Maturino, also red. Hero Marine should always be red for Mouse Sports. And it's important to match when that matters. Dragon Kitesy does not have a red or blue color scheme, so those players can be either color. Oh my god, this SCV. So low. Does stay alive though, finishes the barracks up. Man, NightMare's just being as annoying as possible with this probe. Oh my god, the RNG here for Oliveira, it's gonna die! Oh no, dude. Oh, that RNG was so bad. It just kept going. It did. It wanted to die. It just stayed out there. It's like, no, I want to hang out with this probe. This probe seems nice, dude. This probe seems chill. Poor guy. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. We have very few things in StarCraft that are, like, truly random. But where the SCV goes when it starts building a building again like that is, I believe that is 100% random. It has, like, 4 different options. 4 corners. It might actually even be more than 4 positions. But, it didn't work out that time for Oliveira. NightMare again going for a Stargate opener. So likely going to be Phoenixes. We'll see if it's another Phoenix charge situation. That worked very well for him in game 1. As he hit Oliveira at a very specific timing. But it could be a Phoenix Colossus build as well. Or maybe he won't go Phoenixes at all. Maybe it'll be like a double Oracle opener into something else. Only time will tell. And hey, look at that. It is going to be an Oracle. No, he changes it to a Phoenix. Aye-ya. Oh, well. Oliveira, in the meantime, looks like he wants to put some pressure on again. This is feeling very similar to game 1, right? Didn't he do this in game 1? Except this time with the Widowmine. And the Cyclone is going to start running across the map. Adept gonna run away, kind of. Ooh, the Adept actually spotting this medevac. That is pretty huge. NightMare already has a second Phoenix out as well to help deal with this. And now the Adept on the other side of the map causing issues. Trying to break into the main base, not gonna be allowed to. But at the same time, Oliveira pushing in over here, dropping those Marines out, setting up the Widowmine, trying to help defend them. The Stalker's gonna go down. Widowmine could try to, or the Phoenixes could try to get a Widowmine drag. Oh, if he kills this Reaper, there's no high ground vision, but he's not gonna kill the Reaper. Instead, Oliveira's gonna kill all 3 of those Phoenixes. Then the Widowmine gets 2 Stalker kills. Oh no. This was actually going, I think, just fine for NightMare. He was gonna lose this pylon, but it was going okay. But then in his desperation to save that pylon, ends up losing so many units. that he really, really did not need to lose. And I think Oliveira just, that Widowmine hit, and he was like, okay, hold on. There's no Phoenixes to punish. I'm just going to leave. There's no real way for NightMare to chase him. And Oliveira just gets out of there with a large majority of his units. He only lost the Medevac, the Reaper, and 1 Marine for all that. Actually insane trades to start this game off. He's already got a 3rd CC building behind this. He's going to get into a couple more barracks. Doesn't have to worry about Phoenixes because they all died. Oh my god, he's even got a Banshee. Oh, this is crazy. This Banshee has Cloak? That is actually insane. NightMare he's in trouble. He cancels the Immortal that was building, starts up an Observer immediately because he did not have one. No shield battery in the main base. Means this Banshee can just sit here and target down probes until the Observer gets here. And it's going to just go up to 6, 7. I mean, this is already so incredibly worth the investment for the Banshee and Cloak. 10, 11 probes. Ooh, he gets the 12th probe. 12 probes going down. Big delay on this base from that attack. Great trades with the attack. Meantime, Oliveira has got his 3rd base finished up back at home. He's ahead on workers. There is a 2nd Banshee as well that's going to cloak in and go scout out this 3rd base. Might be able to get some cheeky kills there. I mean, there's still an Observer and Stalkers here, so I don't think it's going to do anything in the main base. At the same time, though, 3 Adepts do make their way into the main of Oliveira, so some counter damage here from NightMare, who he's up against it right now, but getting 9 SCVs here is pretty huge. Gets the 10th one as well. You know, that's actually not too bad. 3 Adepts are not the most helpful thing in an army once you've got things like Charge and, you know, pulling Stalkers out, High Templar. I think that was worth that trade. Now NightMare able to retake that worker lead. His 3rd base is done. Oliveira's is about to land up position as well. The hard thing here for NightMare is Oliveira's standing army is bigger and stronger than NightMare's. He's about to have +1 attack as well as stim and combat shields. If he gets a couple more medevacs out, it's going to be a very powerful army from the Terran. NightMare really only has Charge. That's his only upgrade right now. Templar Archives, did he cancel it? No, he already built one. He's building a 2nd one. NightMare, oh, he's in shambles right now, guys. He's in shambles. He's trying desperately to hold on, but he's wasting money on a 2nd Templar Archives. He's going to drop a couple of nice force fields here, but the siege tank on the low ground doing a lot of damage before it goes down. The bio stimming forward. The force field's not helping all that much. Super shield battery turns on, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The damage from Oliveira is overwhelming, and GG gets called. Oliveira takes the 2-1 victory over NightMare. Despite NightMare winning game 1, it's just not quite able to close it out.